and through its greatest gift for eons. And that gift was compassion and unconditional love, simply to see if anyone would put conditions on love, truth itself. Well, now you know. This world is all about conditions and contracts. Judges and executioners, despotic rulers and slaves work to death in the illusion, and any earthly contract and possessions keeps them bound to hell, literally. Greedy little mice are easy to catch because they are driven solely by physical lusts and programs of competitive survival that they only see the cheese laid out for them in a snap trap. Doesn't the card game Snap revolve around copy cards showing up? Two of the same. We all know how both these games end. Both are the winner, where in the mouse's game, the only shuffling after the game is the last few seconds struggling for the inevitable last breath. That is evil's game. Compassion works in the mirror of this, where this mirror has been flipped on the truly innocent of this realm. This is where the innocent says, "Oh, look, Mummy, a wounded scorpion. Let's save its life," to the inevitable end outcome of what a scorpion does.
Later.
Sorry, just delivery.
Later, we'll worry about it.
Okay. Let me start that again. See, random. It's live radio. What do you expect? Yeah, you plan that in a recording, don't you? Funny, I seem to always be here. You ever notice? Yeah. Compassion works in the mirror of this, where this mirror has been flipped on the truly innocent of this realm. This is where the innocent says, "Oh, look, Mummy, a wounded scorpion. Let's save its life," to the inevitable end outcome of what a scorpion does naturally. There are beautiful parables on this that many likely know the story of, the scorpion and the frog, or the farmer and the viper, etc., so as not to offend the touchy Scorpios. And you've all got the scorpion in you. You got genitals, you got Scorpio. True story. Can't back out of it. I mean, you've been playing with it for so long. But anyway, when will humanity's compassion for oneself outweigh the usury of that compassion to ask a death wish? Kind of stupid. That, my astute and esteemed fellow servants, is for you and you alone to decide. My choice was made long ago. We're taking one of these scorpions down would never suffice until all scorpions and vipers, purveyors of evil and death, were and are now ultimately destroyed. True story. This is exactly the same with those that choose to associate themselves with those that are making this aspect of reality abundantly clear for all to see. In the building up of oneself beyond anonymity, one is parasiting on a host of one kind or another. If it were the truth that was more important to them, then they would push that through first and not their own fame and personality, merely shifting a few sentences to give the illusions that they, not the original author, found something of, quote, value, unquote. Therein lies the lie within itself, where the truth is priceless, without value to anyone but the author, where that infinite wealth is shared openly, and where most of these authors care not about their own, quote, fame, unquote, because fame was certainly not this author's aim. Quite the opposite, a full 180 degrees style. While it also be true that there are many that share the same, quote, truths, unquote, that are, upon observation, self-evident to all anyway, there are the few that insist on feeding on a host, long after they were told not to. The high water mark is not difficult to see. Leaves an oily bath ring, you know. It is always, it is always any and every other answer, rather than other than okay. Let me try to get that for you right. If you answer, or for me to explain it better, it worked on the high water mark. It sure did. Okay, here, let's try it. This is such a beautiful concept. This high water mark is not difficult to see. It is always any and every other answer rather than and other than okay. So rather and other than okay. Got it? Once asked to stop. You'll stop that. That sword through the throat hurts. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So in truth, one may see this as self-defeating, in that these individuals are getting the works of others out while riding piggyback for their own fame. The truth of this reality is that it's suffering from terminal idol worshipping, and these fools create idols of themselves to other idol worshippers. The scorpion stings, the scorpion that stings, the next scorpion, and the next ad nauseum, all down the line until, though unfortunately, compassionate humanity is the literal monkey in the middle, stung to death after death after death until they are drained dry of compassion and become as evil itself. It's your greatest strength and your greatest weakness right there. Because once you are devoid of compassion, you are as evil itself. And heaven has no use for that. Again, to illustrate the importance of this requires a canvas as large as the universe, because it is that very canvas that is being stained like the shroud that Turin. Shroud of Turin, shroud the Turin. It's all about the Christ, remember? That's the storyline. Don't miss the plot, eh? Every story's about it. You should see it. It's you. Those that carry a name carry the mark of the beast, and that beast is easy to spot with one simple question. Do you use anything of a legal name of any kind in this reality? And your answer is self-evident. Do they promote their legal name, the God in their image, or did they create a way or a name of their own? It is easy to see those clinging to Babylon while clinging to the coat tails of the heavenly host, where the outcome is obvious. They get ripped apart, all push-me, pull-you style, on their own rack. The truth must be shared for truth's sake, not for one's namesake, where all the ancient masters said the same thing. Sounded like a good idea to me, and quite a few others now, apparently. Nifty. How cool is that? Playtime. As said before, it is also easy to feel these pulls on your reality. Magnetic parasiting has a purely evil feel about it. This is the same magnetic parasiting that draws so many cops to one place, because the host is full of life, and they all want to feed. Ever notice that and ask why? Well, now you know. They know where all the true power is, and they make it obvious to those of us that actually know who we are. The fundamental religio lunatics make it easy for their filth to feed as well. And isn't it funny how upset they get when you point this out? They go off on a Stockholm Syndrome tear, defending and further feeding the parasitic killers, so who's really the crazy one in that equation? The mice and coat-tailors need a pulpit just like those they serve knowingly and or unknowingly, but then heaven sorts that out anyway, no hands required. Remember, the true emperor wore no clothes, where the real joke is on the lying coat-tailer in the fable. It is not my role here to judge, simply to observe, report observations, get the feedback from consciousness so as to learn to tune into the best station in the universe, heaven itself. You know, for many it is beyond too late for them. But not one of you will bow your head in shame because you, like myself, told them. Oh, yeah, I was nice. You know. It is far beyond too late for evil itself, in that its existence is evil in and of itself in the first place, simply a bad idea that is erased forever. It matters not to me what form this evil disguises itself in, any body or anything, where I only and completely choose to see evil itself, where the actions, inactions, always, oh look, naked, bear them out. And you'll see their emperor. It'll either be with a pitchfork and horns, or you'll see yourself. So come into the light, little cockroach, no corners left to hide, because there are no right angels in heaven. They all left for here, silly, and you're smack dab in the middle of it all, literally. Those that judge cannot see the truth in themselves yet. Those that observe judge themselves and only themselves for the roles in everything they were a part of. Being part of anything is separating oneself into fractals of emotions and memories that mask the true now. So when they chose not to be a part of anything or anyone, they just became a part of the all creation itself and observed from there. There is such a convoluted reality surrounding the concept of bowing and surrendering that somehow they are signs of absolute weakness, yet those that see it that way didn't see the absolute strength within the true surrendered and bowed self, inasmuch as infinite heat must be paired, cut in two, with the mirror of infinite cold, etc. These people try to add things up with only half of every equation. So how do you suppose that math works out? You only got half the story. So when you no longer bow to any man or anything possessed demons out there, is the moment you have finally bowed to yourself, and perhaps that is why this particular author and her counterparts, Kate and Keith, found so many wondrous breadcrumbs on our journey, je, our me, I, ourself, Christ mind, get it? And became the true journeyman to mirror the living, literal experience. No? While there are those that choose to say what they will about this author cares not, nor for nor of opinions that are invariably attached to an asshole somewhere. I have my own reality because my own reality is all I am and all I've got. Just like you. If one chooses to worship another or just as equally defame them, they are guilty of the same evil either way. They chose to be copyrights, and their book doesn't have a happy ending like yours does, but then they don't have an original script, only the stolen copies. Truly it is a game of mice and men where the mice will always fall prey to the perfect mousetrap, the cat. You might pronounce it Kate, you might pronounce it a lot of ways. The true creation is one of source birth, not earthly. It is one of heavenly order in the face of this earthly chaos, where neither point requires debate. Truth removes all debate, and why those that speak it won't debate. And why would they? They know they're on to something big, and the fame-seeking leeches waste no time latching on until they're removed with a lit cigarette on the shore. Evil is easy to stamp out when one is finally willing to do the stomping. How many times has this author called bullshit and went out on a limb to expose it? That's the irony, because this author knew where to stand, where that rock never shifts, never yields, and never fails. The truth is only truth when you know it in your hearts, and will never yield regardless of illusional obstacles placed there by the very ones that hope you never see this. Well, there's the catch-22 then. They, quote-unquote, hoped where we know hope is doubt, and baby, heaven has no doubt. Happy birthday to you. It's a true story. Come on. Giggle for me. Carrying on. Literally. This rock also makes a handy mouse killer, and you don't even have to throw it. Just let go and let nature take its course, because nature always does. I don't know what to, I don't want to know what you think. Seriously, I don't. I want to know only what you feel, and I don't feel bad any time I let the rock drop. I feel all mushy inside knowing that scorpion has stung its last innocent mouse for simply offering a helping hand. When you finally combine time and reason, nature's symphony takes over where thought can never rule you again. So play along in creation show and tell, because we all want to know what makes you and you alone really special. When you open that present, you are gifted with now, because heaven knows you're special, and eye rolls when you choose to not just be yourself, your whole self and nothing but yourself. Become the author of your tale where nothing is copyright, and just like this author's works. You can't copyright an original. It belongs to all, silly. True story. Emma Swan. Revelations by